Okay, good evening. Today's daf is Chaf Aleph. We saw yesterday that Rav Dimi showed up from Eretz Yisrael, and he said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, describing the two Shevuous bitoi, the sheker and the shav. He said that sheker is futuristic. So either lahara lahektiv, I'll eat or I won't eat. That's called a Shevuous sheker. What's a Shevuous shav? Is a chalti. I ate or I didn't eat, and you lied. So that's a Shevuous sheker. That's a Shevuous shav. Excuse me. That's shav. It's a Shevuah of nothing. The Gemara questioned that, and we gave two terutzim. We had a stira, and we gave two terutzim. We said that either if the chiddush was a papa, we're going to see that Rapapa and Abaya's the shakavataya between Rapapa and Abaya, or we said that when it said the Indian carbon, it's a sheker. The Indian, just like we said davracha, it's the same thing. So just like you'll bring a carbon on sheker, you'll bring a carbon what on shav. Okay, so we're up to Chaf Aleph. But again, bear in mind, according to Rav Dimi, sheker is future and shav is past. Sheker is future and shav is past. Now, often in Shas, we have different opinions coming up from different places. As we'll see. Mesivei. Ezo Shevuous shav. What is a Shevuous shav that you're chayiv an oil of yared for? Nishba l'shanos es hayedua. You'll go ahead and you swear to change the obvious. So Rav Avi, it's not a Rashi, it's a Mefurish Gemara. It's a Mefurish Gemara. A Shevuous shav is Nishba l'shanos es hayedua. Rashi says, you swear that a man is a woman. There's other pshatim. You swear that piece of wood is gold or stone. Let's stay with that for safety reasons, right? But you go ahead and you made such a shua. That's a shua shav. When as soon as right, what's a shua sheker? Is again bear in mind we had a shua sheker mean the future. So what's a shua sheker? Nishba lahachlif. You swear to switch. Rashi 4 lines down. Nishba lahachlif. The shana says emes. You want to switch the truth in Yeshua. Hainu, which means l'chisha avar. Kigain, achalti, v'layachol. V'layachalti v'achol. If it's a future, guys, then there's no switch. You don't know what's going to happen yet. If it's the past, it happened already. So what's a shvuas? What's a shvuas sheker? What's a shvuas sheker? Is a shvuah to go ahead and to switch. What meaning? What was? That means past. Kasha. You Rav Dimi said in the name of Yochanan that shvuah sheker is futuristic. It's lahaba. Here you see shvuah sheker is l'sha'avar. It's past. That's the kasha. And for the Gemara, don't say nishba lehachlif. Ema nishba umehachlif. Swear and then you switch. Pirish. You switch from the shvuah that you made. You made a shvuah not to eat, and you ate. You made a shvuah to eat, and you didn't eat. That's future, guys, right? Nishba umehachlif. That's going on the future. Okay. So therefore, so far Rav Dimi has held serve in the explanation of Rabbi Yochanan that sheker means what? Future, and shav means past. Comes along Ravin. Now, very often, Ravin and Rav Dimi have different interpretations of what Rabbi Yochanan said. Kiyasa Ravin, Rav Yirmiyah, Rav Avahu, Rav Yochanan. Names are important. Rav Yirmiyah, Rav Avahu, Rav Yochanan. Achalti v'lo achalti. Past, guys, sheker. There's the difference in opinion. Now, it's not a kasha. It's a different view of what Rabbi Yochanan said. Rav Dimi said that future is sheker, and Ravin is saying no, that achalti v'achalti is sheker. V'azara say, and where's the azhara? Malay sishavu b'shmila sheker. Oichel v'loy oichel. What about eating and not eating? A shua to eat, not to eat. That's oive b'layachal devaray. That would be the isra of layachal devaray. We saw yesterday Taisus kainamas is layachal devaray. We said Aishu is also the Yachal Devarai. Konamis is only Yachal Devarai. So this is the Yachal Devarai. The Ezehi Shvuah Shav. And what is a Shvuah Shav? Is what is Nishba L'Shanis Es HaYidua. You go ahead and you swear to what? That's known la'adam. So you know that a person is a man and that's a woman, or that it's wood and not stone. The bottom line is you have the report of Rav Ravin in the name of Yirmiyah and Rabbi Vahu that achalti v'lo achalti is a shvua sheker. So again, the difference being, according to Rav Dimi, he reported that sheker means achal v'lo achal. It's future. According to Ravin, in the name of Yirmiyah, in the name of Rabbi Vahu, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, it is what? It is past that is sheker. Amar Papa, Hadar Rabbi Vahu, that Rabbi Vahu says that achalti v'lo achalti is sheker, we didn't hear him say it, but we are going to infer it from a brisa. Now we're going to have a long-winded brisa, and at one point I'll point out to you, you'll see it yourselves, where Rabbi Vahu says achalti v'lo achalti is sheker. So again, that's our mission, to see that Rabbi Vahu holds achalti v'lo achalti is sheker. Okay. So Amar Papa, Hadar Rabbi Vahu, Lav b'feirish shitmar. He didn't say it openly. He didn't come out and say it. But what? We inferred this is what he held Rabbi Yochanan said. Dam Rav Idi bar Ovin, Amar Rav Amram, Amar Rav Yitzchak, Amar Rav Yochanan, Rav Yehuda Oimem Mishum Rav Yossi Galili, Kol loisase shebetayra, every loisase shebetayra, Lav sheyesh b'maisa, as long as we have a maisa, like in a love. Again, we're going back to our Masechta Makis days. The parsha of Makis is juxtaposed to the parsha of like Sachsim Shor B'Dishar, and just like muzzling an ox is what? An action. So too, to get Makis is what? Is an action. So to get Makis would be what? Would be an action. U'she'ein bar ma'isa, and any lav she'ein bar ma'isa, any lav that you do not have an action, that ain't like in a lav. You won't get Malchus. You won't get Malchus. Okay, so far, fellas, nothing to do with Rabbi Vahu and Achalti v'lo achalti. We haven't seen anything yet. However, there are a lav shein b'maisa which you would get Malchus. This is a conversation that we had the other day. What's mi nishba? Even though swearing is not a maisa, umeimar, making a tamura, zu kizu is not a maisa. You take a carbon and you say that this should be the chulin should be like this one. Okay, now the Gemara in Tamura goes through the sources for Meimar and Mekalel. What we're interested in is why Nishba. Why is Nishba, in fact, if it's a Lav Shein B'Maisa, why are you getting Malchus? It's a Yotzim and a Klal. Why is it different? Nishma Minolon. How do you know Nishba, fellas, what is even though it's a Lav Shein B'Maisa, you will see Malchus? Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai Amakra Leisisa Hashem Elokecha L'Shav. Do not go ahead, what? And say Hashem's name in vain. Ki lo yinake. Now, what does lo yinake mean? You won't get off the hook. Bezna shel maila ein menaken say. Bezna shel maila won't let you off the hook. Aval bezna shel mata, malkin I say. You get malchus and menak I say. So it's a gzeres hakosiv. Let's say Sisa Hashem Hashem Hashem. You go ahead and use Hashem's name and make a shvua. You will on the bezna shel mata. You will get malchus. You will get malchus. It's a pasuk, not a svara. It's a pasuk. Only Papa Labaya Dilma Hachi Kamrachmana Lo Yanaka Klal. Why do you assume that you can get off the hook in this world? Maybe you can't get off. Not only can't you get off the hook in the next world, you can't get off on the. In other words, this is a no go, right? Nothing. Says the Gemara. Iksiv. Abaya says Kilo Yanaka Kidakarmit. If we just say Kilo Yanaka, I would agree with you. You don't get off the hook. Period. But Hashd Dichsiv Kilo Yanaka Hashem. You add the word Hashem. What is it telling me? Hashem hu de'ena menaka. Hashem won't find you guiltless. Avol bezn shel mata malkan I say. Bezn shel mata will give you malchus, despite the fact that what that it's a lav she'ein by maisa and umenakan I say. Good. So therefore, so far, guys, what? Anything to do with Ravahu? No. Anything to achalti v'achalti? No. But again, in learning, always keep your eye on the ball. So now, Ashkin Shevuous Shav. So we find the Shevuous Shav. The Shvuah, you're swearing at something that's known, that a man's a woman, or vice versa. That you will kilo yinake Hashem is telling you lashav. In other words, it says lashav openly, and therefore the lav shein b'maisa by shav I know for sure. Shvuah sheker minolon. How do you know Shvuah sheker? Because after all, the pasuk says lashav, Mashma for you using Hashem's name in vain. What does that mean? You're saying that you swear that this man is a woman or this stone is gold, right? Something like that. Sheker minalan. How do you know a shvua sheker? Rabbi Yochanan Didei, Rabbi Yochanan says, Omar, Lashav shtei pomim. Guys, what does the pasuk say? Leisisa Hashem Elokecha Lashav, Ki lo yinakes Hashem Elokecha, Hashem Asher Yisa es Shmo Lashav. So it says twice in the pasuk, right? Again, one more time. Leisisa Hashem Elokecha Lashav, Ki lo yinak Hashem es Asher Yasa es Shmo Lashav. So it says Lashav twice. Shtei pomim. Im Eina in the Shua Shav. I have the first one to tell me Shua Shav gets Malkus, despite the fact it's Lav Shem B'Maisa. So now we're in the Shua Sheker. So we'll use it what for Shua Sheker. So now we have what established that a Shavuos Bitoy, whether it's a Shua Shav or Shua Sheker, you would receive Malkus, despite the fact it's Lav Shem B'Maisa. Now Rabbi Vo comes in, and this is what we need. V'havi by Rav Mavo, when he commented, Hi Shua Sheker Hechi Dami. What's the Shua Sheker that you will get Malkus on? Ilema Shua Shaloi Oichel, a Shua that I won't eat. V'ochal, and I did eat. I don't need a pasuk for that, fellas. Lav sheyesh b'maisahu. You made a Shua not to eat, and what did you do? You ate. So that's a lav sheyesh b'maisa. I don't need a pasuk for that. Ve'ela da'amar Shua she'oichel v'loi ochal. You make a Shua that you will eat and you don't eat. Hi, miloika. In that case, will you get malchus? For itmar, we learned, shua she'oichel kika zu hayom. I make a shua that I'll eat this kika today. V'avayom v'lo achla, and you don't eat it. Rabbi Yochanan v'Reish Lakish nami travayu. Ain't a loika. You might remember the malchus. You're not going to get malchus, guys. If you make a shua to eat something and you don't eat, you're not going to get malchus. Rabbi Yochanan Amar ain't a loika mishum dahavi lav she'ein b'maisa. V'chol lav she'ein b'maisa ain't loika a love. V'Reish Lakish Amar ain't a loika mishum daha hasra safik. We made a dik in Marcus, guys, that Rabbi Yochanan is of the opinion that Shema Safik, Shmei Asra. Guys, remember, eye contact. When he had to come on to the pshat that it's a lav shein b'maisa, it's because why? He took a whole Asra Safik, Shmei Asra. You would get Malchus. The chesaron is it's a lav shein b'maisa. That was the dik we made what? Like Rabbi Yochanan there. Okay, now, so we're trying to figure out what's the case of Shua Sheker, fellas, that you need to teach me the pasuk like Sisa Hashem Lashav. It says Lashav twice to tell me you get Malchus despite the fact it's a Lav Shem Amaisa. So now what? If I make a shvua to eat something and I don't, you don't get Malchus. You don't get Manav Shach. You don't get Malchus either because it's what? It's either Lav Shem Amaisa or you're not getting Malchus because it's Hasra Safik. If you make a shvua not to eat and you do eat, I don't need a pasuk to tell me that you get Malchus. You get Malchus because it's alive. Sheyesh b'maisa. The Omer Rabo tehei be'achalti v'lo yachalti. Ah, you know, you got it. In other words, he didn't say it in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. He said it in this limud, and we're extrapolating. You see what a Shevuous sheker is, guys? When we wanted to find a Shevuous sheker to get Malchus, we ended up achalti v'lo yachalti. Good. We ended up achalti v'lo yachalti. And who's saying this? Rabbi Vahu. So Memela, Rabbi Vahu never reported in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Vahu, in learning pshat in this brisa, the case of Malchus of a Shevuous sheker is achalti v'lo yachalti. Memela, we hear that what? Sheker means achalti v'lo yachalti. It means past tense. It means past tense. That's what we're focusing on now. It means past tense. Good. Now, Maishna. What's the difference between Oichel, you made a shvur that you'll eat and you didn't eat, and over here, that's a lav shein b'maisa. Over here also, guys, it's a lav shein b'maisa. Guys, you're making a shvur that you ate, and you didn't. You made a shvur that you did eat. You made a shvur that you didn't eat, and you did. Doesn't make a difference. When you did the shvur, there's no action afterwards. So umay shna, Fred the Gemara. What's the difference that it's clear to you that past tense is a shvua sheker versus a shvua that you will eat and you don't eat, that it's a lav shein b'maisa? Guys, Rebbe Vohu was forced to say achalti v'lo achalti sheker because future he held it was a lav shein b'maisa. You make a shvua to eat and you don't eat, right? So why did he choose to say, in this case also is a lav shein b'maisa? They're both lav shein b'maisa. Guys, you hear? Look at me. You're being mechadish over here, a chiddush. Shua, Tamura, and Mekalel, all despite the fact it's a lav shein b'maisa, you're going to get malchus. So let's leave Tamura and Mekalel from Sechta Tamura. We're saying now, how do you know if you swear, even though it's a lav shein b'maisa, you get malchus? So we said, it says twice in the pasuk, that's a shvua shav. So meaning a shvua that you say that this wood is gold or this a man is a woman. Taken care of. Like this guy's right. Now we have two possibilities in shvua sheker. It could be future, it could be past. What's future? I make a shvua that I won't eat, and I do eat. That's a lav sheyesh b'maisa. I don't need the pasuk for that. Okay, so there must be what? Shvua that I will eat, and I don't eat. Hello, it's a lav sheyesh b'maisa, and guess what? You're not going to get malchus for that. You're not going to get malchus for that. Why? Either because it's a lav sheyesh b'maisa, or because it's asra sofik, depending who you hold like. So it must be the case of shvua sheker that you do get malchus is what? Made a shvua that you ate or you didn't eat. And you did the opposite. Good? But that's also lav shein b'maisa because it happened already. So why over there is it so obvious over there that you're going to get malchus rather than the case of shvua that you won't eat and you do eat? Why is the case of past much more obvious than what then? Okay? Guys, you hear the question. Now outside, what will you compare a shvuas sheker to, the shvuas shav more? Future or past? Past. Why? Because it's the same thing. What's a shvuas shav? It's done already, right? It's not a man, it's a woman. It's not stone, it's gold. You ate, you didn't eat. Memela, if I'm going to learn that from shav, a shvua, it makes more sense to go to the past than the future. Says the Gemara, Umayshna, Amar Rava, Beferish Ripsa Torah Shvua Sheker, Daima L'Shav. The Torah goes ahead and openly compares Sheker to Shav. Why? Because it says Shav twice. Ma Shav L'Shavar, just like Shav L'Shavar, it is what it is. Av Sheker Nami L'Shavar. Super Geschmack. Super Geschmack. Super Geschmack. Okay, so we have Chalukei Deis in Reb Yochanan, what he holds a Shvua Sheker is. According to Rav Dimi, he holds it's lahaba. According to Ravin and Rabbi Vo, it is what? It's the past. Okay? And the source is Ilosishin Kan Lashav. Eisivei Rav Yirmiyah Rabbi Vo. You have a kasha from Rav Yirmiyah to Rabbi Vo. Again, what's the kasha going to be? You hold sheker is past. Now, this is a Mishnah, guys. Let's look at the Mishnah, the whole Mishnah on Chav Zayin on the base. Chav Zayin on the base. Shvua shaloi eichel, kika zu, a shvua that I won't eat this kikar, this loaf of bread. Shvua shaloi achalna, shvua shaloi achalna, shvua that I won't eat it, shvua that I won't eat it. So you make l'chayr three shvuas, achlana, v'achla, and you eat it, ein chayv la'achas. You only chayv once. We're going to see, fellas, because once you made a shvua, the other shvua can't be chal on that shvua. Once you make a shvua, you're mushbav oimev v'asina to keep that shvua. Like I told Heshi yesterday. Once you make the second shvua, it's not chal. And certainly the third is not chal. Good. So you only chayiv once. And zui shvuas bitoy, this is shvuas bitoy, shechayavim al zedoinai makis, that if you over and b'meisa, you get malchus. Vel shigagasu karbonoi leviyored. So guys, this is future, right? This is future. This is future. Next case, shvua shav, chayav mal zedoinai makis, vel shigagasu and pata. A shvua shav, you'll be chayiv makis, but you won't be chayiv in olav yared. That's what the Mishnah says. Okay, let's see what we do with that information. Okay, so again, says the Rabbi Vo that shvua sheker is past. Achalti v'yachalti. Eisver Rabbi Yirmiyah Rabbi Vo shvua shloi oichel kikazu, a shvua that I won't eat this loaf of bread. Shvua shlo yachalna. Shvua shlo yachalna. 3 shvuas. V'achla in a chayiv ala achas. As I told you, you only chayiv on this other two are not chal because it's you mushba on the first one. You mush ain't shvua chala shvua, because once you make a shvua from Sinai, you're told you can't go ahead and be over that shvua. Zuhi shvuas bitu shechayav mazdayin makis or shegas and carbon oil v'yared. Zuhi lemute mai lav lemute achalti v'lo achalti the lo lucky. In other words, you said yechai, right? One when it says zuhi dafka shaloi ochel lehaba are yechayev malchus and a carbon. Over here, zui, what? You won't get malchus at all. Says malay. Lemute achalti lechalti mi carbon. You won't be chayev a carbon, but you would get malchus. Good. Okay. Zuhi da al shigagas and carbon oil of right? The first case of shvur that you won't eat, and you do eat, that you be chayev oil of right? Aval achalti v'lechalti loy. Why not? Rabbi Yishmael he guys, the opening sugya of Masechta, beautiful, right? Rabbi Kiva couldn't work out because of Yediyas Atuma, and Rabbi Yishmael couldn't work out because of Shvua. Why did Rabbi Yishmael hold? He darshan only. He darshan v'nelam for Yediyah, and therefore he only learned what? He learned out you're not chayiv l'shavar. You're only chayiv in the future. So Memela, what's pshat in that Mishnah? The shvua v'aliv yoyred will be only in the future. Achalti v'loyachalti, right? Achalti v'loyachalti you won't be chayiv el v'yoyred. You'll be chayiv malchus. It's lo yachol devaroi. You'll be chayiv malchus for not keeping your word, right? For making a shvua outright wrong, right? And we have a ribui for it. That even though it's lav shem v'maisa, so you'll be chayiv malchus. You won't be chayiv a carbon. So again, we wanted to make a diak from that Mishnah. Dafka lahaba. But mashma, guys, but past tense you wouldn't be chayiv at all? No. Past tense you would be chayiv a carbon, but you would be chayiv what malchus. Lehaba, you be chayiv both. So therefore it's not a kasha on Rabbi Vo. Okay. Why did the Sefer say shvu shav? Now it says the Gemara Vaita of Mukalaki Amid Beis. Ema Sefer. What about the Sefer of that Mishnah? Zui shvu shav shechayav mazadoine makis v'ashigasen pater. From a carbon, zuhi l'ma'ute mai, my love l'mute achalti v'loyachalti, the loy lucky. That in other words, the seifa says you get malchus. Mashma, right? A shua shav, matzah shua shav. Again, we know that you on the obvious. However, mashma achalti v'loyachalti, you wouldn't get malchus. Loy zuhi dal shigas and patami carbon. Avachalti v'loyachalti ashigas and chayiv carbon. Oh, now you hear this, guys. Achalti v'yachalti shigasni b'chayiv a carbon. V'Rabbi Akiva he the mechayiv l'sha'avar kila haba. In other words, so guys, let's look at the Mishnah. Look at the Mishnah of Zion. Let's see the Mishnah of Zion. Let's see it in there. Shevuous shlo yachal kikazu. Shevuous shlo yachalna. Shevuous shlo yachalna all future. V'achlin you eat it. Ein chayiv el achas. You only chayiv one carbon. Zui shvuas bitoy shechayav mal zedayne makis val shegasen carbon oil of yoyred. Masha ein kain what? Masha ein kain achalti v'achalti. You won't be chayiv anything at all. Says going no. You won't be chayiv a carbon, but you will be chayiv what? You will be chayiv makis. Why won't you be chayiv a carbon? Because it goes according to Rabbi Yishmael, who says that what? You're not chayiv on the past, only future. Continue the Mishnah. Shvu shav. Chayav mal zedoine makis v'ashigasen pata. Shvu shav yechayiv on zedoine makis v'ashigasen pata, right? And l'chayra masha ein kain achalti v'loyachalti, you won't be chayiv makis at all. What's the answer? No. Shvu shav yechayiv zedoine makis and no carbon, but shvuas achalti v'loyachalti, you be chayiv a carbon also. Now that's Rabbi Akiva because it's past tense, and you're saying you chayiv a carbon, so we got a problem. We have a problem. How do you learn Pshat in that Mishnah? Let's see Gemara now. Rabbi Akiva, Hadam Chayiv Rabbi Akiva, the Mechayiv l'Shavar, Kila Haba. Fred the Gemara, by us 6 lines down. Ha'omer Reisha Rabbi Yishmael he, Reisha Rabbi Yishmael v'Sefer Rabbi Akiva. We know enough in learning that what we always for symmetry we want the Tana Rebbe would go ahead and be Masada the Tana the same way, right? It should be the same one. Says the Gemara, no, Kula Rebbe Akiva. For Reisha Lavlam Ute Achalti V'lo Achalti. It's Rebbe Akiva, and the Reisha is not to be Mayir Achalti V'lo Achalti Mikarbin. El Mute Oichel V'lo Achal Mimalkis. It's you thought it's kind of Mayir Achalti V'lo Achalti. No, it's Mayir Oichel V'lo Achal. I make a shvua to eat and I don't eat. That's a lav shem b'maisa. Avol karvin mechayev, but a karvin you be mechayev. So when it says the case of shvua that you won't eat and you do eat, okay. What about shvua that you will eat and you don't eat? So then you be chayev. You be pater from malchus. You be chayev a karvin. You pater from malchus. Why? Because the lav shem b'maisa. But you be chayev a karvin because why? Because you're over on Yeshua. Guys, you hear this? Lumdis. You hear this? You be pater from malchus because it's lav shem b'maisa, but you will be chayev a karvin. Well, that's the chiddush. You eat and you don't eat. Mimalkis. Avol karvin mechayev. Umayshna. What's the difference? Mistabra koy b'lahaba memayit lahaba. Now, why do you learn pshat in the reisha that way? Guys, look at me. What was that diak? Guys, what was that diak? The future, mashma, in the future, you're going to be chayiv a carbon and malchus. In the past, you won't be chayiv at all. Says, no, we're changing that. We're not speaking about the past at all. In the future, if you say you won't eat and you do eat, you'll be chayiv both. If you swear you will eat and you don't eat, you chayiv one. Why did you opt to go with that diak rather than achalti v'lechalti? Pashit. If I'm speaking about the future, let me stay in the future. Guys, I'm speaking about the future. What did I just say in the future? I make sure that I will eat. I sure that I won't eat. And you do eat. Chayiv both. If you make sure that I will eat and I don't eat, you chayiv what? A carbon, but not malchus. But achalti v'lechalti, I will be chayiv both. I'd be chayiv both, according to, or at least it could be anything, malchus, anything. But there's no diak that it's not like Rabbi, it's not like Rabbi Shmuel at all. We're changing, guys. We thought it's like Rabbi Shmuel by saying achalti v'lechalti. We're changing. It's not Rabbi Shmuel. In the fact that what is Rabbi Akiva, and it's speaking to lahaba. So it says the Gemara. Elamute oichel v'layachol memalchus. Avol karbi mechayev. Umayshna. What's the reason? What's the reason that you learned the Mishnah? It's b'mamayit from I said I will eat and I don't eat rather than achalti v'lechalti. Mistabra koi bilaba. Once you're speaking about lahaba, memay laba. Kol bahaba memay l'shavar. You're speaking the future. You're going to memay the past. Very geschmack pshat. There's a shul Rashi, guys. See Rashi beautifully how the words that I just told you fit in. Says Rashi.
Both of Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva, the other way you can't. Because Shmuel holds only in the future. Rabbi Akiva also holds in the future. So you can answer both of them.
No. You have a problem with what?
Shmuel doesn't hold for the past, only holds for the future. Right? So you're speaking about the future. You can answer the question for both people.
You want to say it's, but what about the Sefer? The Sefer was a chalti v'lechalti. The Sefer was a chalti v'lechalti. You can't say according to Rabbi Shmuel, the Sefer. We want the whole Mishnah to come out according to somebody, right? The Sefer of the Mishnah is not according to Rabbi Shmuel, Mendy. The Sefer is staying with a chalti v'lechalti. Like Rabbi Shmuel, you will not be chayiv at all. Like last, we're chayiv a carbon. No, because it's because of the past. The diak in the Sefer is the past. Once you're dealing in the past, it can't be Rabbi Shmuel. So right, the ratio now could be Rabbi Shmuel, but we want the ratio to be Rabbi Akiva because the Sefer al Korchach is Rabbi Akiva. You good? You understand what you're saying? You're right. The ratio could be both, but again, it's the Sefer that's Rabbi Akiva that's forcing us to say that the ratio is Rabbi Akiva. Look at Rashi, guys. Ela lemuute oichel v'loy ochal mi malchus. V'achi kamar. This is what the Mishnah is saying. Zuhi loy oichel. You said you won't eat for ochal the chayev al zedoine makis. The havle lav sheish b'maisa. Aval ochel v'loy ochal. But you say you will eat and you don't eat loy laka. Umayshna. Why are we setting it in that what by future? Klaimar. Heichi mashma masnisan delmute oichel v'loy ochal. Dilmal mute nami ochalti v'loy ochalti. V'tikshilcha. How can the Mishnah be according to Rabbi Akiva? Memaya l'sha'avar, bitmiya. You're speaking about the future. You can be memaya the past. Bitmiya. It makes no sense. Therefore, it's very good. Okay. We had a conversation in the Mishnah, guys. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Your Testament days. 3 lines down. Shevuous shloi achol. You make a shvuah that you won't eat. V'achol kol shehu, and you eat a kol shehu. Chayiv. You be chayiv divrei Rabbi Akiva. Amru loy Rabbi Akiva heichem atzina ba'achol kol shehu chayiv. I l'chol. You need a share, at least chacha kazayis. Shezeh chayiv. Amru Rabbi Akiva v'chi heichem atzinu b'medaber u'mevi carbon. Where do you find a person speaking and bringing a carbon? Shezeh medaber u'mevi carbon. What's Rabbi Akiva? What's the dialogue, fellas? What's the dialogue? Like the Chachamim, they held it was a share of achila, like any other case. Like Rabbi Akiva has nothing to do with what you're not making the food asa, guys. You're making yourself asa. When you say you don't eat, what do you mean? I won't eat a kazayas, or you won't eat, period. By shvuah, we go after lashon b'nei adam. Says Rabbi Akiva, you said you're not going to eat. You ate. Halachically, it may not be considered an achila, right? The Inyan shvuah, it is. And you can hear the difference. Okay, so this is the conversation. Says the Gemara. Iboilahu. Rabbi Akiva, b'chol terakula kreb Shimon svirulei, the mechayev v'mashahu. Does he hold the kreb Shimon that yechayev v'mashu? Guys, remember the first Mishnah in the third parak of Makis? I'll remind you. Third parak in Makis. Daf Yud Gimel. You have one. You have it both. If you eat tevel, you chayev. Reb Shimon aimer kol shu, chacham aimer kazayis. Omer Reb Shimon, yat hamoidim li boichel nemala. If you eat an ant, kol shu chayev. Amufleim mifnei shu kibriyasa, because it's a ganze zach. It's a bria. Amalehem afchita achas kibriyasa. Even chita achas kibriyasa. When the Gemara says shiurim is halacha Moshe Sinai, that's linyan carbon. But the linyan chiyuv to be over on the yisa, kol shu. Good. So now, Gemara has a lam d'shashayla. When Rabbi Akiva, guys, says over here, Rabbi Akiva says over here, Yechai b'kol shehu, is it only over here by Shvuah? Or does he hold like Rav Shimon b'chol Torah kula that the share is kol shehu? Is it limited to Shvuah? Or no, we'll extend it. We see Rav Shimon holds kol shehu. Maybe Rabbi Akiva holds b'chol Torah kula kol shehu. Or no, does he say over here Shvuah because we go after Lashon and Yadam and a person calls Achila as a Kol Shehu? That's the Gemara Shaila. Says the Gemara. Iboilahu, Rabbi Akiva b'chol Torah kulak Reb Shimon Svirulei, the Mechayev v'Mashahu, the Tanya Reb Shimon Omer, Kol Shehu l'makis, v'yomu kazayis el linyan carbon, uvidinu deboye fluge ba'alma. So what's, guys, how could you have a Shaila? Then Rabbi Akiva should show up throughout Shas and argue. Good, he argues over here. But if he holds like Rav Shimon, he should argue all over. Ubedinu de boya flugi ba'alma, v'had kamifli hacha, l'diacha koichid d'rabbanon. The afagav deikla meima hoyel umefarish chayiv. Since there's a svar to say, since he expressed that he is not going to eat, he's chayiv. Stam nami chayiv, because we go after lashon b'nei adam. Kamash malon de patre. So in other words, why did Rabbi Akiva pick over here to say his chiddush if he held that way called Torah Kula? Is to teach us the chumrah of the chachamim, or the kula of the chachamim, right? The kula of the chachamim. That even though Lashon B'nei Adam is mashma kol shehu, he also Lashon B'nei Adam is mashma kazayis. And that's why Rabbi Akiva argued over here to go ahead and augment or elucidate the shita of the chachamim. Dilma ba'alma k'rabbanan svirulei. Maybe Rabbi Akiva holds all over like the Chachamim, you need a share. V'hacha, and over here, Dafka over here by Shvuah, Hainu Taima, Hoyel Mafarish Chayiv, Stam Nami Chayiv. Since he's Mafarish, what, that you're going to bring a carbon, that you go after Lashem B'nei Adam, so since he said it, he's Chayiv. Guys, we're going to be Poshit to Shaila, like the lad said. We're going to be Poshit to Shaila Dafka over here. But Kol Torah Kula, he disagrees with Rav Shimon, and he holds you need a Kazayas. So we will be placed to the Shaila. Let's go a few attempts. Says the Gemara. Tashma. The Omer Rabbi Akiva. They told Rabbi Akiva, Heichin matzinu ba'oichel kolshu chayiv. Shezeh chayiv. Where do you find that you eat a kolshu, that you chayiv, that you be chayiv? In other words, that's the lashon of our Mishnah. That's the lashon of our Mishnah. Where do you find a person that will eat a kolshu and be chayiv? Ve'im isa, and if it's Rabbi Akiva held his din b'kol tarakula, leimelhu anah b'kol tarakula kreb Shimon svirulei. In other words, if Rabbi Akiva held that way, why did he limit it to shvua? Guys, he's only addressing shvua. He's only addressing shvua. But you know what? He's only addressing over here that this person went ahead. He made a shvua. He's going to bring a carbon. He's only addressing that. Says he's going according to the words of the Chachamim. I hold all over, right? That like Rav Shimon, that the share will be kolshu. And liditchu oidlemia hoyel mfash chayev stam nami chayev. In other words, why is he saying it over here? He's addressing the Chachamim. I hold like Rav Shimon b'chol tarakula. Over here, since what the person made the neder, made the shvua, right? Don't you hold that he should be chayev? In other words, he's addressing the Chachamim. The reason he didn't say a universal lashon, he's addressing the Chachamim. Chachamim, you who hold all over is the kazayis. Don't you admit over here by shvua it should be what? A kol shehu? I hold all over. But the only reason he's addressing over here is addressing the words of the Chachamim. The Chachamim who say all over kazayis, over here should be different, because by shvua we go after lashon b'nei adam. And the Rabbanan say no. Okay, meanwhile, you weren't successful in Paisha the Shaila. Toshma. Rabbi Kiva Omar. Guys, these are Shas Sugyas. The next two, we're going to go through it in less than a second, but they're Shas Sugyas. Guys, you have a Nazir's Asar to drink wine, right? A Revius. Let's say you have a half a Revius of wine, and it's soaked in bread. And now you eat the bread. It's mitzdaref. That's the concept of what heter mitzdaref is. It's Shas Sugya. Good? Now. Nazir sheshosh lepita b'yayin. V'yesh bo kedei litzarif kazayis. You can be mitzarif kazayis. I said revius. Kazayis. Chayev. V'yisal kedaitoch ba'alma kreb Shimon svirulei lamali litzarif. If it goes like Rav Shimon, guys, you don't need sirif to the bread. Zichalein the yayin should be. Right? Zichalein the yayin should be. V'oi tenan shvuah shloi oichel v'ochel nevelus utreifish kotzim ramashim. He makes a shvuah that he won't eat. And he eats nevelis, treifish, kotzim, ramashim, chayiv, Reb Shimon paita. You chayiv, Reb Shimon paita. Now, am I chayiv? Why are you chayiv if you ate nevelis and treifish? I mush mevayim yasinai. Who? Guys, remember I told you, ain't shvuah halal shvuah. Are you allowed to eat a scorpion? No, right? If you make a shvuah not to eat a scorpion, are you over on your shvuah if you eat the scorpion? No. Why? Because you're mushba from Asinai not to eat scorpions. The reason I bring scorpions is because my crazy son in Thailand. Yeah. Now, so you're not going to go ahead and eat it. So Memela, the Chacham say over here, you made a shvuah not to eat, and now you eat veil's treifus kos mushroom, you're pata. Okay, that's why Reb Shimon says you're pata. Okay, the chiddush is why the Chacham say chayev. So Rav Shmuel, Rabbi Yochanan, the three of them, Rav Shmuel, Rabbi Yochanan, the Amri Travayu. Try is not correct, right? Because it's three of them. It's bekoil dvarim mutarim dvarim musorim. It's speaking about ishal koil. Guys, we hold ein isachal alissa. Ein isachal alissa. So you have one existing issa you can't account. There's two ways in this can be chal. Either by koilel, incorporating, or moisef, or eating on a halacha. Eating on a halacha. Let's say a woman was an Eishes Ish, and now she becomes your mother-in-law. That's an issa moisef. She went from chenek to sreifa, right? That's an issa moisef. You ate on something. What would issa koil will be? I make a shvuah not to eat anything in the world. Okay? So then all of a sudden, what? If you eat nevela, are you chayiv? The answer is yes. You know why? We'll be koil nevela along with everything else. Good? So therefore, that's why they hold it chayiv over here. Because it's speaking about an issa koil. Again, this is what I mean. We're going to go through it in a second. Right? We're just going to, because we want to get to the purpose of Rabbi Akiva. Either that chatzi share, in other words, you made a share that you made a shvuah that you want to eat chatzi share, and therefore it's chal. Right? Kol shu nami mushba v'im rasinai. Who? Guys, so how do you tell me, guys? You're telling me, let Rish Lakish, guys, you can be chayiv by what? By guys, either by saying chatzi shir or kol shu according to Rabbi Kiva. Now, it's saying kol shu Rabbi Kiva according dafka in this case of nevel and treifa. If it's a din of kol tarakula, l'chariya mushba arsinai on a kol shu. Rabbi Kiva is asking a kol shu, guys. But one second, if he holds that what? If he holds that in kol tarakula, kol shu is asa. So what are you gaining? Ella must be that holds kol shu is mutter. It's a raya that what? He does not agree with Rav Shimon, but he holds you need a kazayas. Okay, so Ella la shvamina ba'alma k'rabbanon svirle. It must be ba'alma. He holds like the rabbanon. Okay, and dafka over here is kol shu is asa. That's why you asa. Mashenka all over you be pata. So shmamina that he holds like the chacham all over. Shmamina, in fact, you have a good right. We have minyan. Good Nacht.